Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Coinbase says altcoin season is coming. This coming from Altcoin Daily, guys. So the altcoin season is coming officially, according to Coinbase International. As September approaches, the transition to a full-scale altcoin season is likely. Our positive 3Q25 outlook stems from macro trends such as potential Fed rate cuts and expected regulatory advancements, so that's important to note. More key themes in this month's Outlook report, and unfortunately I don't have the Outlook report here because this is just a screen grab, but guys, Coinbase is not the only body saying that altcoin season is near. Take a look at this. Chad Steingraber also commenting, let's go alt season, start the rotation. So everybody is ramping up for, September, the fall, I think is when we're really going to start to see this. Chad posted this, the CMC altcoin season index, okay, 42 out of 100. The yearly high and low, so these are interesting values to pay attention to, where we did see at the high altcoin season reach 87, Bitcoin at 12. So guys, we got to see these numbers really kind of reverse. Right now, we're not seeing that in the least. 47 out of 100. And so, we are still really kind of waiting for those altcoins to gain a little bit more traction. You can see fear and greed is still in neutral territory. So we haven't really seen too much in terms of any kind of real excitement over the last few days. Market cap is up by a little bit, just over 1.5%, and the CMC 100 up by 1.62%. So this is now where we stand. We do need to see that reversal, and that's going to mean money has to rotate from Bitcoin into altcoins, including XRP. As you guys can see right now, XRP still just hovering in and around $3.11, a little higher today than from 24 hours ago. Don't you find it curious, though, that, even especially institutions like Coinbase is saying, well, we know when altcoin season's coming, you better prepare, et cetera, and they're passing it off as, it's because we know macro trends and, there's going to be a potential Fed rate cut and we're expecting this. Guys, they know exactly when things are going to pump. And Coinbase is, one of the larger exchanges. They make money off volatility. They make money off you and I trading cryptocurrencies. I'm taking every single one of these cues and I'm parlaying them into a comprehensive strategy to try to find the top of the market. You guys can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel, where I'm keeping my portfolio completely transparent, letting you guys know where I'm going to be trading out of some of my XRP. Of course, guys, there's the long-term prospects too. I want to be reasonable. I do not want to be round-tripping my crypto like I did back in 2021. So I've taken a bit of a different approach this time around. Patreon.com/workingmoneychannel for more information on that. Another interesting observation here from Marty Party, the copper to gold ratio is a known indicator to smart money that the business cycle, the ISM, is bottoming. When this happens, it's always before the trend to go parabolic in crypto. So another indicator here that now I'm going to be paying attention to. Okay, take a look at that copper to gold ratio. As you guys can see, as this lowers down, this is historically when we are ready to see the beginning of that next run to the upside. So copper to gold ratio, what he's saying here, what it is looking like is that there is still more room. There's still more runway here, bringing us into 2026 and 2027. That would suggest a prolonged bull run. So that's one theory. But we also got Colin Talks Crypto here with this chart. And, this is something that I wanted to discuss because since the beginning of crypto, we've found ourselves in these types of cycles. So Colin Talk says, I've seen some people stating that the Bitcoin cycles have different lengths than those pictured here. But really, guys, what he's noticed is this, okay? Cycle 1 notes. I've never considered the first cycle to extend all the way back to October 2010, which it's necessary to do in order to get the measurement of 37 months. So he is looking at 35 bars up here if you're taking a look here. So, I mean, it's not going to be exact, but 35 months is what he's noticed here for every single cycle from the bottom to the top. Cycle number 2, we get a little bit more mature. The second cycle was a double bottom. So it's either 28 months or 35 months. So that was back in 2015, all the way up to the top of, or the end of 2017, rather. In cycle 3, the third cycle is 35 months. Okay. And that took us right to November of 2021, right from the bottom to November. 35 bars, 35 months, each bar representing 1 month. The 33-month showed in the previous chart is incorrect, in my opinion. So guys, what he's saying in summary, if indeed the distance is about 35 months, again, we can't pinpoint it exactly. For each cycle, the bottom to top, then October 2025 will be the next cycle top, assuming it follows this pattern. This chart doesn't speculate on a price other than it's likely to be decreasing in the magnitude, so diminishing returns. So we will still see that retracement to the downside. Again, guys, I'm going to put the Patreon up on the screen if you guys are interested in knowing in more detail how I'm going to be treating this bull run, because, you know, all these different factors are going to definitely play into my decision on when I'm going to be trading out. So this is Bitcoin, and as you guys can see, diminishing returns here. Let's bring it to 2021 to 2022, when Bitcoin finally reached the top and then retraced back down. That was in around 77%. So you can see that was not as big of a crash, for example, as when we saw this thing crash in 2018. That was closer to 84, 85%, give or take. And I know some people are saying this is going to be different. And even if it is different, even if Bitcoin only crashes 50%, okay, 50%, okay, and let's say it goes up, I mean, it's hard to know right now. Let's say it's so hard to know. Let's say it's 50, 55, 60% even. I mean, 60% would make a lot of sense because that would be basing in and around here. Well, guys, that would still be at $55,000, almost $56,000 per coin. So there could be still some buying opportunities. We just have to keep our eye on the prize and make sure we are making the right decisions. Let's keep going. Sandy Call, Franklin Templeton, head of innovation, is going to be at Ripple's Swell event, guys. To remind you, listen very closely from Cyprus to Menoncore. Massive relocation of all the money is coming. And this is Sandy Call here from Franklin Templeton on the stage explaining just that.
You know, look, I think that we are going to see a massive relocation of the industry infrastructure, right? And it's going to happen so much faster than people anticipate. You know, we like to say at Franklin Templeton, we're going to see more progress in the next 5 years than we've seen in the last 50. And that's simply because it is a superior set of rails, right? It offers you the ability to move away from this session-based 9 to 4, Monday through Friday activity to global 24/7. Right? It allows you to move away from even an enhanced T+1 settlement cycle to atomic settlement where assets and securities and assets and payments are exchanged instantaneously. It allows us to get rid of intermediaries that are toll takers and gatekeepers that add cost and fees. And it's going to allow us to reduce the amounts of collateral that we have to post to operate the system. Those are all compelling reasons. But the most compelling is going to be that the money is moving out of the traditional rails, right? The money that's coming out in stablecoins is very rarely going back into the banks when it comes off-chain. People are leaving money in these wallets. It's becoming a parallel economy, and we're going to see our entire set of financial services migrate onto this parallel set. In a sense, it's like what we saw with ETFs, to go back to the point you were making, is that like once it starts happening, it doesn't stop happening and it keeps spreading. And we've kind of passed that point of no return. So I think we are at the beginning of the migration. And I think that because these technologies are open source and easy to get to, it's going to happen a lot faster than anyone in the industry anticipates.
Of course, she's not naming any specific technologies, but, you know, considering she is going to be speaking at Swell, that's Sandy Call right there. I think that says something for sure. Sentosumo Saba also posting this. Guys, Brad Garlinghouse expects a 10x for stablecoins. Companies like Ripple work the fintech payment firms to utilize the XRP ledger to issue stablecoins in every currency. Guys, the RLUSD is just the beginning. This is what a representative from Straits has to say. And by the way, they work with Ripple. Listen to this.
We decided to launch a stablecoin in 2019 because it was a moment where Web 3.0 was taking off in the world. And we felt that having a stablecoin technology embedded in our DNA as a payments fintech company would make a very natural sense of things to come. So Ripple is a company that we have had so much fun and also passion together to create what we believe is the future of where stablecoins should be. It's not common to find a company like Ripple in a sense whereby both the senior leadership, the people on the ground, and the infrastructure that they built is aligned very solely in that common direction that we are also on. And the reason for that is because, as I mentioned earlier, we have a very strong nexus as a fintech payments company. We work with the likes of enterprise Web 2.0 companies, and a lot of times that bridge that combines all the players requires a blockchain foundation layer that appreciates what we're trying to do and also has the same direction and investments towards where we want to be. So the Ripple team has been amazing in the sense whereby they understand the vision that we are trying to go on, and they also see that the future of stablecoins, I recall the CEO, Brett Garlinghouse, mentioning that he sees today's market cap of stablecoins at $230 billion. And he expects that number to even 10x down the road. Ripple has built this amazing thing called the Authorized Trust Line, which is a infrastructure that allows a permission layer and also to allow tokens to be able to transact within a very defined space. Why this is important is because if you look at to where the enterprises today are comfortable, including the banks, to function within a scope, the ATL is a perfect example which fits their comfort zone. So having a Sing dollar stablecoin, having a Malaysian ringgit stablecoin, having a Thai baht stablecoin, having a US dollar stablecoin, this enables funds to not only move seamlessly across borders, but into currencies which make sense for the country and the people that live there.
So the authorized trust line, as Crypto Eddie says here, is going to be the secret sauce for the XRP ledger. Every currency will eventually come on the XRP ledger. So it's probably pretty good that, some of these companies got a head start, like GeoSwift, a Ripple partner here, partnering up with Huma and ARF. They launched same-day settlements for marketplace sellers worldwide. So some Ripple partner news here, guys. These companies just partnered together, GeoSwift being the Ripple partner, and they launched a settlement solution that delivers same-day payouts to merchants on global leading e-commerce platforms built on Huma's PayFi network. The solution provides sellers in Asia, one of the largest seller communities, with immediate access to funds that previously arrived at least a full business day later. So now it's 24/7, and the XRPL interoperable, so it can provide instant solutions for payments. With this launch, GeoSwift is able to fund merchant accounts as soon as the e-commerce platform initiates the payout. And of course, GeoSwift can do that because it's running on the XRP ledger, leveraging Polyflow's supplier financing platform, ARF's compliant global settlement infrastructure, and Huma's liquidity infrastructure. The entire flow is orchestrated on the PayFi network, automating disbursements, enforcing compliance, and delivering real-time transparency. So it looks like they're frankenbiting this together. Of course, with interoperable platforms, it will, the theory is that it will work seamlessly. A little bit more about GeoSwift, if you guys did not know. They're an innovative global payments technology company specializing in the APAC region for cross-border payments, licensed in the US, UK, and China, and supported by an extensive payment network spanning the APAC region, North America, and the EMA region. GeoSwift provides customized end-to-end cross-border payment solutions for a broad spectrum of industries, including education, e-commerce, travel, and financial services. They're not the only ones, guys. AirWallex has also just crossed $200 billion in annualized transaction volume, so a huge milestone here for Ripple partner AirWallex. Transaction volume is up 92% year on year, according to their latest financial report that just came out a couple of days ago, so on Friday. Its annualized return rate is $900 million, and that is up 89% year on year. The company is now active in 26 markets with new offices in Paris, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai. It also recently acquired CTIN Pay in Vietnam. So AirWallex also leveraging RippleNet technology to bolster their bottom line. And, this has been one of the more successful smaller companies that I think did really take the technology and hit the ground running with it. We're seeing a lot of these partnerships really kind of flourish now in 2020. Just even over the last few years, we've continued to see them do really well. When these guys were partnering up with Ripple back in 2018, 2019, 2020, it was the beginning. There were some mini advancements, but now, guys, we're seeing it in full swing. Even TerraPay and Wish Money did partner together on cross-border payments, and TerraPay is the Ripple partner here. They're a global money movement company, and they've just announced a new strategic partnership with Levant's region-leading fintech innovator Wish Money. This collaboration marks a pivotal step in both companies' shared mission to foster financial inclusion and drive innovation across diverse markets. The partnership leverages TerraPay's expansive global market access to enable both sending and receiving of cross-border payments, offering Wish users an end-to-end remittance experience that is reliable, secure, and faster than traditional channels. And TerraPay's global payment network, which connects 3.7 billion mobile wallets and 7.5 billion bank accounts. So if you can imagine, if one person held one bank account, that's almost the entire population of planet Earth. We know that people own multiple bank accounts or have multiple bank accounts, so that's not necessarily the case, but that is the quantity that they are doing. This is unlocking powerful new capabilities for Wish Money's rapidly growing user base of over 1.3 million. And they say here, through this partnership, Wish users can now send money instantly to wallets and bank accounts across more than 150 countries, offering an instant, compliant, and cost-effective alternative to traditional remittance channels. So again, with this same narrative, the remittance channels, remittances were Ripple's first foray into the industry. Now they have gone beyond that, and AllInCrypto did recently just appear on Paul Barron's podcast. If you guys don't remember, I did a video on Rupert from AllInCrypto and his price prediction for XRP. Now, guys, he talks a little bit more about, the reasons why he thinks this in some of these clips. I'm going to link the video I did up here, but I also wanted to play you this from AllInCrypto. Listen to this.
XRP is in the right place at the right time. Do you think that, and this is something that Steven said from Canary Capital, is that this next move for XRP, especially around ETFs and now 401ks, potentially seeing Ripple as a next generation company, do you think this will start to separate the pack for XRP and its longtime holders?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the ramifications of the ETFs, the 401ks, being able to actually access these investments is going to really change the course that XRP is on, because what that's going to do is unlock a hell of a lot of liquidity that's going to be able to flow into it. You know, you talk about 401ks, you're talking about, I think, $7-8 trillion, $9 trillion, something like that. You talk about traditional investors that like to invest in traditional assets. They're still largely siloed from the cryptocurrency space.
Exactly.
Once that unlock takes place, I mean, you're talking of trillions upon trillions of dollars that I'm not saying are going to flow into XRP, but could. And that could is a big thing. You know, if you look at what we've seen with Bitcoin and its ETF, the most successful ETF in history, Ethereum actually isn't that far behind. I think it's third in regards to the fastest ETF to get to $10 billion. I actually think XRP is going to surprise everybody, because I think people know what's going on with it from an institutional point of view. It can't just be us on the peripheries that understand this. It has to be sort of the people that this technology is going to affect. They have to have looked into it. It would be bad due diligence not to. Once you see that ETF approval, which I think is going to come in September, I think everything points to that, including some of the conversations I've had with ETP providers. I think you're going to see miraculous things, and I think that's going to set us up for a pretty explosive back end of 2025 and beyond. I think crypto goes on more of a broad trajectory than just following the kind of mundane 4-year cycles.
So another interesting perspective here, thinking, because of some other possibilities, crypto could go on a cycle beyond the 4-year cycle. But notice he also says altcoin, well, he didn't say altcoin season specifically, but if we do see the ETF approvals, that would happen likely in September. So guys, it all seems very coordinated here. Another clip. How big is this monster going to get? Listen to this.
You know, you see people getting kind of backlash in regards to some of the outlandish or what seems outlandish price predictions that people throw around for XRP. The truth of the matter is, we don't know how big this monster is going to be.
That's exactly right.
If it achieves the goals that it's set out to do, and there's every sign from the likes of the president just there that's going to be the case.
Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that?
People are way underestimating just the size of XRP because it's going to need that liquidity to enable all of this. It's an amazing time to be alive and in the crypto space.
So guys, all signs are pointing to a bullish fall for XRP. I had to show that clip of President Donald Trump reiterating that point. When you can answer this, why won't Trump, the SEC media and banks and various other politicians and other big money mention XRP like they do Ethereum and BTC? That's a really good question, Is it one of those Ripple riddles? I gotta say, guys, I'm getting really excited for this bull run. XRP looks like 2017, but moving at a slower pace. I mentioned this the other day, but Galaxy here at Galaxy BTC did post this, and notice something else. Another great observation here. If you look closely, okay, on the weekly chart, it took 3 tries for XRP to finally go into full serious price discovery mode. Now, 1, 2, and then finally, boom, to the upside. That was the third time back in 2017. And guys, it's looking like we are getting very close to that, but moving at a slower pace. 1, 2, and what he's saying is maybe, just maybe, this next push to the upside is going to be that full-fledged burst that we need in order to break past former resistance, which is now new all-time high at $3.66. Guys, XRP is set up to do just that. We just have to wait, and we have to make sure our expectations are in check. For more information, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel for a more detailed perspective on how I'm treating this bull market. You can also stop by the Working Money Channel merch store if you guys are interested in purchasing some Working Money Channel merch. I'm offering 15% off until the end of the month. The link is in the description of the video. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.